Hey there guys, welcome back. So today I'm going to be going over some Capcom games on the Super Nintendo. Now there was so many great conversions. Capcom did so well on the Super Nintendo, making loads of games for them, and some of them were absolutely outstanding. The conversions from the arcade to the Super Nintendo were amazing. Some of them were just absolutely brilliant, and then they also did some that didn't even come out to the arcade, and they improved on them even more. So today I'm going to go over a couple of games for the Super Nintendo that Capcom released on there, and let's take a look. So Capcom on the Super Nintendo. So the first one we've chosen is Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Now this is a sequel to Ghouls and Ghosts, and they only released it on the Super Nintendo, never released in the arcade. Now what a game this was, absolutely fantastic. They upgraded everything. You start off in the graveyard, and I just tend to find that this game is absolutely classic. Great soundtrack, good use of colours, and great graphics indeed. Definitely, probably in the top 10 for the Super Nintendo. Next one I've chosen is UN Squadron, also known as Area 88 in Japan. Now this was a shoot 'em up in the arcade, but they upgraded it when they did it for the Super Nintendo. Give it a bit of an RPG element. You're not limited to one plane, and each plane that you can buy later on has better weapons for it. I found that this was only one play, which didn't really matter, but I absolutely adore this game as well. Once again, I think this is great soundtrack, very challenging indeed, and something that will keep you coming back for more and more. Next one I've chosen is King of Dragons. This is a kind of like a golden axe kind of game. 5 characters to choose from, bit of hack and slash, loads of levels in there. Great big baddies to shoot and fight against, and things like dragons, obviously with the name King of Dragons. But this is another great quality, 2-player simultaneous. Each time you get to the level, you do level up with a better sword or a better shield. Once again, another quality game. Next one we're going to look at is Knights of the Round. Very similar to King of Dragons, 3 players this time, based on the medieval characters, Sir Arthur. And this one is once again another hack and slash. Similar, when you get towards the end, you power up with extra sword or level up even more. I do find this one too very good in close to, compared to the arcade as well. Excellent game, definitely worth a try. Next up, I've chosen Magic Sword. Now this one was an arcade conversion as well. Now what they did there to limit it, because it's only one player when they converted it to the Super Nintendo. Still, it doesn't stop it being a quality game. Very close to the arcade, and a bit of a hack and slash as well, about 50 levels as you're crawling up the tower. And you also get extra characters to help you on the way. Brings us on to the Street Fighter 2 series. Now first one we've got is Street Fighter 2, one of the very first conversions, or probably is the first conversion they released from the arcade onto the Super Nintendo. 8 characters to choose from, they're all there, most of the animation is there, a quality game. They did an excellent conversion indeed, all the special moves are there, and it's still a good game as of today.
Round 2, fight!
Next up we've got Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Now this is the same as Street Fighter 2, but you've got the 4 extra characters. So they've got Champion Edition included in this one, and also the Turbo Edition as well, where you can speed it up. Everything's pretty much the same, just them extra characters to play with. Once again, a great conversion. Next up, we have got Super Street Fighter 2. Now, this has got all the characters in there, plus the extra 4. I found this one to be a real good conversion. Yeah, a few limitations have taken some out to fit on the cartridge, but once again, this is something that won't let you down. Next up, we've got Street Fighter Alpha 2. Now, Street Fighter Alpha 2, once again, this is a conversion from the arcade. There's limitations on the cartridge. There is a freeze or a loading, should we say, when you first start up. The sprites are shrunk down, but it doesn't take away anything from the gameplay, and I find this to be one of my favourite conversions ever, and I still love to play this today. All the characters are there. Great game indeed. Next up, Final Fight. Now, Final Fight was one of the first games released for the Super Nintendo. There is limitations on the cartridge, so they only made it one player, and they took away one of the characters, Guy, so you could only play Hagar or Cody, and it's not two players simultaneous. But it doesn't take away from the gameplay. Some people don't like this one. I still find this one to be very charming indeed, and very close to the arcade. Still a great blast and a good beat 'em up to this day. Next up, we got Final Fight 2. Now, Final Fight 2 was not released in the arcade, it was just released on the Super Nintendo, but they added, or they heard of the bits where they went wrong in the first game, made it 2 players simultaneous and 3 characters to choose from. Now, this one, as people compare it to Streets Rage 2, no, not as good, but still a great beat 'em up to this day, and you can have lots of fun with it. Next up, we have got Final Fight 3. Now, they've improved a lot on this one. This time, 4 characters to choose from, 2 players simultaneously. You've got a few special moves in there as well with your power bar that we've taken from the Street Fighter Alpha series. I think that adds a little bit more challenge to the game as well. It does help you on the way. Several characters to fight, several bosses, quite big as well, and very challenging. It's one of those games that you will like to go through and have a blast and come back to later on. This brings us to the Mega Man X series, or I've heard it called Mega Man 10. Well, yeah, Mega Man X it is, and boy, what a great game this is. They did the Mega Man for the NES, or the Nintendo Entertainment System, but released Mega Man X on the Super Nintendo. Great platformer, loads of powers to choose from, very challenging, and if you manage to get the patterns down of the bosses, you'll have yourself such a great game and a great time to play. It's one of the games I like to come back and play again and again. Next up, we have got Mega Man X2. Now, this one was obviously a follow-on from Mega Man X. Personally, I don't think this is as good as Mega Man X. I do find the first one to be the best one, but this one is still a good challenge. Once again, you have several bosses to fight. Once you've got the patterns down to it, you too tend to find that it does get quite easy. Still a great challenge, great graphics, great sound, and definitely worth a play. And then last up we've got Mega Man X3. Now this one was the third in the series obviously, and I find that this one has kind of dropped a little bit more. Still a great game to play, good graphics. You do get to play Zero a bit more in this one compared to Mega Man X, and I do find this one is to be quite challenging as well. Once you've got the patterns down from the bosses, you do tend to have a good time with it. Great game, great graphics, great sound, definitely worth giving it a try. So there you have it, guys. Capcom on the Super Nintendo. How good were them games? Some of them were absolutely brilliant, amazing, great conversions as well. They really knew how to program it. They really knew how to make a great game, and Capcom is one of my all-time favourite companies that do games. I absolutely love them, especially lots of the Resident Evil series as well. But when Capcom started releasing games on the Super Nintendo, they did a fantastic job. So, guys, don't forget, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know your thoughts, let me know some of your Capcom games that you thought were really good. There were loads more to choose from. So guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.